Hey guys, it's Jim with another video. This is for my Scream Factory collector's editions. I'm going to break this video into two, ones with slipcovers and ones without. The reason why is because if I don't, this video is going to be like 2 hours long. I do have quite a few titles from Scream Factory. They're my favorite boutique label. So I'm going to start right away, but before we do, please hit that like, subscribe button, and please leave some comments. I would love to hear from you. And let's go. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, because if not, like I said, we'll be here all day. So in alphabetical order, here we go. Number one is Charles Bronson's 10 to Midnight, 1983 movie, slasher kind of movie. Front, there's the back. Next we have John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. Sorry about the glare, guys. There's the back. 1976. I'm a huge Carpenter guy, as I've said in other videos, because here we go. Here's another Carpenter movie. Big Trouble in Little China. With Kurt Russell and Kurt Russell's mullet. This movie's awesome. A lot of fun. '86. Big Trouble in Little China. Sorry. There you go. Okay, next we have Bob Clark's Black Christmas, 1974. You know, most people think of Halloween as being the first slasher movie, but Black Christmas came out 4 years before that. And it's just wild that the guy that directed Black Christmas went on to direct Porky's, but not only that, went on to direct A Christmas Story, which is one of the most beloved Christmas movies of all time. So, okay, next we have The Blob, one of the best remakes of all time. Although the scariest thing in that movie is Kevin Dillon's mullet. Look at that thing. But no, this is a great movie. I absolutely love The Blob. Next we have Bruce Campbell and Ozzie Davis and Bubba Hotep, directed by Don Coscarelli of Phantasm fame. I love this movie. I know a lot of people don't. It's a weird movie, but it is so entertaining. And Bruce Campbell and Ozzie Davis play off each other so well in this movie. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, Bubba Hotep. Next we have the slasher classic, The Burning. That incredible death scene on the raft with all the kids getting chopped up by Cropsey. Tom Savini. I mean, what can you say? The guy was the best as far as slasher effects went in the 80s. And gore effects, he was just on another level. Yeah, 1981, I saw this at the drive-in. The Burning. Next we have Paul Schrader's Cat People with Malcolm McDowell, Natasha Kinski, John Hurd, and Annette O'Toole. This is a weird movie, but it's pretty cool. It was something I used to watch a lot on cable when I was a hormonal teenager, but I do still have a lot of affection for this movie. And Malcolm McDowell he's great. He's awesome in everything. Oops, sorry. That's Cat People. Next we have Tony Todd in Candyman, based on the Clive Barker story, directed by Bernard Rose, Virginia Madsen, Tony Todd. You know, everybody's seen Candyman. It's a great movie. Next we have Class of '84, Perry King and Roddy McDowall, and a very, very young Michael J. Fox. This is from Mark Lester, who directed Firestarter and Commando, among others. 1982 is when it came out. Yeah, this is like a throwback B movie, but it's a lot of fun. It's a good movie. Next we have Cobra, Sylvester Stallone. Directed by George Cosmatos, who also directed Rambo 2, and he also directed Tombstone and Leviathan. I forgot about Leviathan. Yeah, Bridget Nielsen's in this too. 1986. Kind of a cheesy movie, but you know, it's got some entertainment value to it. Stallone's cool. So. Okay, next we got Sam Raimi's Darkman. Liam Neeson, Frances McDormand. Larry Drake is awesome, and this is Durant, the bad guy. 1990, this movie came out. Yeah, Darkman's great. Next we have George Romero's Day of the Dead. 1985. I was lucky enough to see this theatrically because it was released basically the equivalent of a NC-17 nowadays. It was unrated. You had to be 18 to get in, and I turned 18 the weekend that this movie came out, and I was lucky enough to see it, and love it to this day. It's great. Bub the zombie is like one of the greatest horror characters of all time in my eyes. He's great. So, Day of the Dead. Next we have David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers with Jeremy Irons in an incredible performance. His twin brothers. Genevieve Bujo's in this as well. This came out in '88, I believe. Yeah. This got both versions of the movie. It's solid. It's a slow burn. It's not a horror movie, but it is kind of creepy. Yeah. It invokes dread. Let's put it that way. Speaking of not a horror movie, but Death Becomes Her. Bob Zemeckis directed. Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis, who is just hilarious in this movie because he plays such a dweeb and definitely not the type of character that Bruce Willis normally plays. But yeah, the three of them are great in this movie. The effects are still really wonderful. The music's great. Yeah. So, it's Death Becomes Her. Next we have Dracula with Frank Langella, Laurence Olivier, and Donald Pleasance. Directed by John Badham, who also directed Blue Thunder, Saturday Night Fever, War Games, Stakeout. I mean, John Badham's directed a lot of great movies. This version has two versions of the movie. One where the theatrical version, and the other one where the color's been like desaturated out of it. That's the version that the director originally wanted, and quite honestly, that's the version that looks better. This movie's not the best Dracula version, but you know, I have a lot of nostalgic love for it. So, okay, next we have The Entity with Barbara Hershey, who gives an incredible performance. This is a possession type story, you know, poltergeist type story, but the ghost is kind of he's a rapist, and it adds a whole different level of shock value. But yeah, solid movie. 1981, that one came out. Another great one from 1981, John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Kurt Russell, Adrienne Barbeau, Ernest Borgnine, Lee Van Cleef, Donald Pleasance, I mean, Harry Dean Stanton. I mean, yeah, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It was the first Carpenter movie I saw theatrically. I saw it at the drive-in. And made me a huge John Carpenter and Kurt Russell fan from that point on, no doubt. Okay, here we go, guys. We're moving right along. The next one is Firestarter, Little Drew Barrymore, based on the Stephen King novel. George C. Scott playing an American Indian is kind of funny, but he actually gives a good performance. Martin Sheen, a bunch of other people, but 1984. It's not the best. It's certainly not the worst. It's better than that remake, that's for sure. But Drew Barrymore, so cute. So, it's Firestarter. Next we have Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse. This came out in, I believe, 1981. My sister took me to see this at the drive, or not at the drive-in, at the regular theater when I was a kid. Yeah, 1981. Again, not my favorite Tobe Hooper film, but it's far from his worst. So it's a solid movie. It's The Funhouse. Next we have Halloween 2. Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence. Another one from 1981. I saw this at the theater. Get this. Here's a nice little bit of nostalgia for you. I saw this as a double feature at a theater with An American Werewolf in London. And it cost me 75 cents for the ticket. Try doing that nowadays. There you go. Halloween 2. Next we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. The wonderful Tom Atkins. Love Tom Atkins. This movie was a huge flop when it came out. People were pissed. But 1982. But it's since gotten quite the reputation of a cult film, and I actually prefer this one to a lot of this Halloween content that came after. So, Season of the Witch. Next we have The House on Haunted Hill, which is a remake, but this movie's a lot of fun. Yeah, Famke Janssen and Jeffrey Rush are such horrible people in this movie, but you could tell they're having a ball doing it. 1999. This was part of that Dark Castle movies that were coming out at the time. This one, Death Ship, House of Wax, all the other ones. House on Haunted Hill is my favorite. Okay, another John Carpenter movie, In the Mouth of Madness. Sam Neill, Jürgen Prochnow, Julie Carmen, Charlton Heston. This was one of those movies that it took a long time for me to get into. Multiple viewings before I finally warmed up to it. And I still don't like it as much as a lot of other Carpenter movies, although I know this movie is beloved among Carpenter fans. So, 1995, and Sam Neill's great. Sam Neill's awesome in everything. So, okay, next we have Lake Placid, Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Oliver Platt, and the wonderful late great Betty White. This movie's a lot of fun. Another one from 1999. Next we have Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions with Scott Bakula. A lot of people don't like this movie. I love this movie. I saw it theatrically. I think it's creepy as hell. Yeah, some of the effects definitely don't hold up. They didn't hold up then. You know, there's some bad CG here. But this movie just has, it oozes dread, you know. So, 1995, Lord of Illusions. Sorry. Next we got the original Mad Max. Mel Gibson starring. George Miller directed. I saw this on cable way back in the day with it dubbed in American, because it was already in English, but first time I saw this movie, Mel Gibson sounded totally different because it wasn't Mel Gibson's voice. This says 1980. I thought this movie came out in 79, to be honest. But what do I know? So, yeah, Mad Max. Night of the Comet. I love this movie. I saw this in the theater when I was in high school. And yeah, it's so much fun. Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney are just adorable in this movie. Yeah, 1984. I was a junior in high school. Night of the Comet. Next we have The People Under the Stairs. Wes Craven. This is a great movie. 1991. Next we have Phantasm 2. The reason why the case is different on this is because this is actually part of a box set that I own from Wellgo USA, but they have the Scream Factory copy of Phantasm 2 in it, so I broke that out of the box set to include on this video. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Phantasm movies, 1988 here, but Phantasm 2 is my favorite. It's just so batshit crazy, but I love it. So it's Phantasm 2. Next we have David Cronenberg's Rabid, starring Marilyn Chambers, who was a adult film actress at the time. (1977). Almost done here, guys. Next we have Silver Bullet, based on Cycle of the Werewolf from Stephen King, starring Corey Haim and crazy Gary Busey, as well as Everett McGill. And this came out in '85. And yeah, this is a solid werewolf movie. It's not scary, but it's really entertaining. Okay, we're coming to the end here. Next we have Species, directed by Roger Donaldson, who is mainly an action director. He made some really good movies. The cast is outstanding in this movie. Ben Kingsley, Madsen, Alfred Molina, Forrest Whitaker. I mean, yeah. So yeah, 1995, Species. Another John Carpenter film, Starman. Jeff Bridges, Karen Allen. Jeff Bridges was nominated for Best Actor for this movie. He didn't win, but he was nominated. And Karen Allen, I've been in love with her ever since I saw her in Animal House. Between that and Raiders of the Lost Ark, yeah, I will always love Karen Allen. She's great. So, 1984. This is a really good movie. It's definitely not a horror movie. It's more of a love story, but it's really good. Next we have Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. The second Tales from the Crypt movie with Dennis Miller, Corey Feldman. This, I don't really like this movie. I never really have. It's got some moments in it that I like, but I definitely prefer Demon Knight. But I bought this particular edition because on the commentary, the commentary is one of the most entertaining commentaries I've ever heard in my life. But basically, everybody just bitches about Dennis Miller for 90 minutes and talks about how much of a douchebag he was. So that's Bordello of Blood. Next we have another anthology movie, Tales from the Hood, with the great Clarence Williams III. (1995). Yeah, Tales from the Hood's great. Okay, just a couple more, guys. Next one we have is Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. David Copperfield, the magician. This is one of those slasher movies from Jamie Slasher days, but it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. It says 1979. Again, I thought this movie came out in 1980, but I could be wrong. That's Terror Train. And then we have Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with Dennis Hopper. Bill Moseley's crazy in this movie as Crop Top, or Chop Top rather. Yeah, he's great. 1986. Yeah, this movie was not loved when it came out, but it's one of those movies that's really gained a reputation over the years. Okay, and finally, the last one I have without the slipcover is another John Carpenter movie, Vampires, with James Woods. And this is a solid movie. It's not Carpenter's best, but again, it's not his worst. And James Woods is great in this movie. 1998. So that's Vampires. So that'll do it for this video. Again, if you like what you saw, please give me a like and a subscribe, and please leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you think. And I'll see you on the next one.